Good morning. Welcome back to Get Better, Not Bitter. How are you doing today? Happy Thursday. Today, I would like to talk to you about how to deal with the label you have been given from your past mistakes. Maybe, maybe you had a really troublesome youth and maybe you were kind of a jerk. Maybe you were an asshole and very rebellious, and maybe you got in trouble with the law. Who knows? You're doing drugs, smoking cigarettes, having sex. I don't know a lot of people who haven't done that in their youth and in their adulthood on top of it. So I just wanted to dive into that because it can have such lasting effects on who we are as we grow up and how it can be so debilitating. It can kind of typecast you in a role, and it's a role that you're stuck in for your entire life. And if you have any inclination to who you are, you know that you're so much more than just one part, one phase of your life, because life has just so many facets, and we as human beings have so many facets. So let's look at that. I remember in my own youth, we'll use me as an example, I was pretty rebellious. I was sassy. I was really bold, you could say. I ran with some interesting folks. We liked to get into trouble. I skipped school and smoked pot and forged notes to the school saying that, hey, you know what, this is an excused absence, signed my parents. So, not really great stuff. And eventually I got caught doing those things. And then I was punished for them, and I had to take responsibility. And so for a long time, especially in my family, because they, of course, knew about the stuff that I was doing and I got caught with, really labeled me as like, oh, Carmen's got such a big mouth, and Carmen's really, she gets in trouble, and, oh, Carmen smokes, ooh, she's bad. Well, so what? I did those things. I lived and learned. And I learned that smoking's not good for you, no matter what. No matter how cool it looks or how many of your friends are doing it. I learned that, not going to school is not a good idea. It's actually, going to school is actually the good idea. You just live, you learn. Just like when you have a child, they don't come with instruction manuals at all. And you have to figure it out. The problem is that for instance, for people who have known you your whole life, they're like, oh, look at that. And they just kind of pat you on the head and treat you like you're an inferior. You're always going to be stuck in their mind in that place. And what they don't realize is that when you are young, it takes until we're 25 until our brains are totally developed as an adult. So nobody takes that into consideration. They don't think about your impulse controls and what you're learning through all of this. There's a reason that we do what we do. And when you have a teenager and you're like, why are you being so crazy? Why are you being so impulsive? Why are you acting this way? Well, there's a really good reason, because they don't have a lot of impulse control at that time because their brains are still developing. And we are not extending them grace and understanding for what they're going through. They might look like adults, but they're not. They're actually still kids. They're still growing. And even after they're at the legal age of, 18 and they're a legal adult, they're still growing. And we really need to be understanding to that. It's important. It's vital. I know that I thrive in an understanding environment where I am not condemned for every little mistake that I make, and that I'm not typecast as, oh, she's a loudmouth, or, oh, she makes all these mistakes, and, oh, she does a half-assed job. You don't really want her, whatever. whatever it is. Just, I remember, I think it was one of my aunties used to be like, oh, little Carmen Caruso, you're so cute. And, you know, as an adult, it's really condescending. I don't care how much older you are than me. Don't talk to me like that. And, you know, I have since then set boundaries and established, you know, my own self-respect where I don't allow that. And in addition to that, I don't treat people like that. If I catch myself sliding into that, like, oh, you know what? You don't like that? You shouldn't do it. You shouldn't do it to them either. So, you know, it's a learning process. It takes time and it takes grace. We need to be so much more graceful with each other. And another thing to consider, and I have found this to be really, really trying, is that when I get around these people, family members that I have known like my whole entire life, since birth, some of them, I have a tendency to fall back into old familiar patterns. And the thing with that is, and what we don't understand, at least I didn't understand until I learned it, was that in our neurons in our brain, they're coated with this myelin sheath. And that is like, it's part of your memory. And the more coating you have on that neuron, the more it's like your go-to. So when I get around certain people, and I'm the youngest in my family, it's like I have to catch myself and redirect myself, because I will go right back into that youngest child spot. And then in their minds, I am behaving according to the way that they believe I should, because I'm sliding back into that youngest child. Maybe I'm being very conforming and just going with what they want because I don't want to rock the boat. Or maybe I do get lippy. Maybe I, you know, get sassy with them and tell them what I really think, because, you know, it happens. But, you know, now that I'm aware of it and I'm conscious of it, I can combat those old stereotypes, that typecasting that I've been placed in. And you can too. Our brains are miraculous muscles in our body. We have the ability to rewire everything that maybe is dysfunctional or something that's good and we want it to be better. We can enhance it. We have the capabilities all in our head. And if you want to, you don't have to keep reverting back to maybe middle child, youngest child, oldest child. Maybe if you really want to, you can say, I'm going to start a new path. I'm going to coat these other neurons with this other way, and it's going to be better. And I'm going to be better. And you can do it. It takes time and practice, and you need to be graceful, of course. Be graceful with yourself. And when you encounter certain situations, you'll start to remember, hey, I'm doing this. So you might have some hiccups, but they're great opportunities to learn. That's all that is. A mistake is a fantastic way to learn. You just have to want to learn. I have found that since realizing this and encountering certain, you know, people in my life, that I have actually stopped falling into the youngest child syndrome. And it's still my go-to, but it's not where I stay. I take that moment where I go from my reptilian reaction to my cognitive response. And it takes a couple of seconds, but I know enough to just stop, think, and then act. And it has been just fantastic. It has changed the way I can see certain people in my life who want to be there. It has changed the way that they see me. I'm more respected. I'm more loved for me. And in return, since I've done those things and I've been graceful with me, I have also had the ability to be graceful with others and to extend that. And it makes it easier. And it's like this beautiful ripple effect. You know, so imagine if the whole world did this. Imagine if we all learned this lesson and incorporated it into our lives. Things would be so much better. But it, you know, where it starts right here It starts with me. It starts with you, and we can do it. We can live our lives, and we can get better and not bitter. I want to thank you so much for joining me today. I am so glad that you did. And if you would, if this video helped, please click the like button below and subscribe to my channel. And for future notifications for future videos, please click the bell. And I will see you next time. And remember, you can get better, not bitter, and thrive. Love you guys. Have a fantastic day. Bye.